Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the actuality. It's been a hot minute since we've been here, and we're certainly glad to be back sharing our dreams and nightmares with you. I am Josh Wallace. I run Angel's Citadel, and I am the GM for this campaign, this journey that we've been taking for, oh golly, almost 2 years now. It feels like crazy, but lots of fun. And I have my whole cast with me today, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and introduce all of them. Kelton, why don't we start with you?
Howdy, I'm Kelton. You can find me online at places as Fesnerax. I'm playing Billy Burrows, empath, weaver. Which order do these things go? An established empath of the Order of Weavers who plumbs the deeps of sleep. Who just keeps getting sleepier and sleepier. We're going to learn a little bit about that today, and I'm excited to get into it. I want to know what everybody else did, so let's do it.
All right, Joanne.
I'm the other half of Angel's Citadel, and I am playing Claire Thespian, a bizarre, gallant goetic who brandishes battle magic.
Sterling, Mr. Chris.
I am playing Sterling Price, a very anxious fellow, a itinerant empath, formerly a member of the Advance, who splinters into fragments.
And last but not least, Mr. Jeff.
I'm playing Albion J. Finch. Here's my card. Now, if you need to get in touch with me, use this number, not this number. That's the old number. I am a private detective. Not especially successful, but one day, hope does spring eternal, in Satyrine, and I play an established Waveheart apostate who walks with a secret companion.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about where we've been and where we're going. Does anybody remember what happened last session? I know it's been, like 3 or 4 days.
That's adorable.
We've all slept a few times since then.
A couple of sleeps. We went to the green.
The green was creepy.
The green was creepy. What was creepy about the green?
I don't know, maybe the vines trying to eat us? Or the weird green dude? Or the nope ropes? We might
wanted to make us into fertilizer.
Nope ropes.
Lots and lots of gigantic nope ropes. But you found a piece of your soul, each of you.
Yeah.
And you've returned to Satyrine. So to start today, we'll say that 3 months has passed since your excursion to the green. In that 3 months, Satyrine has become a different feeling place. Not much has changed about it on the surface. Shops still run. Restaurants still operate. People still, go about their daily business. But something feels different. There are many more hushed conversations than there used to be. There are strange broadcasts that seem to be coming from everywhere and nowhere. And people talk about plays now and things that happened before the war. And instead of avoiding those concepts, they seem to be speaking of them in more and more frequency. Although, you'll see people talking, and they'll be talking in hushed tones, and then when something moves in the side of their eye, they look up and they stop talking, almost as if they're afraid. So in that 3 months, let's talk with each of you about what you've done with yourselves. I'm going to start with Jeff.
All
Jeff,
right.
let's talk about Albion.
Albion's an open book. What do you want to know?
What have you been working on since you returned from the game?
Albion has been out amongst the people, much the same as he did before, going to wine bars and introducing people to his dearest friend and the actuality, Reynard, and making social connections. Not everybody seems particularly interested in meeting Reynard. A lot of people seem to even question his existence, but Albion doesn't let that bother him. I mean, there are a lot of short-sighted people in this world, but he's also been putting his mind to work for other people. He's always dreamed of being a private detective, and just 2 or 3 years ago opened a practice as a private dick in Satyrine. While he's never really had much success in the last few months, he's done quite a bit of work, pro bono, of course. Got to get his name out there, build his reputation. He has found multiple missing pets, has confirmed the unfortunate abduction of several individuals by the Thaw, and has in fact found at least one missing husband who made it appear as though the Thaw had abducted him. Tricky, but he was able to reunite that man with his angry wife. Overall, he's had a pretty leisurely time. He has kept his head low. He's very well aware of the kind of trouble that he and his friends have stirred up in Satyrine. So he has been keeping a low profile, magically speaking. However, he thinks it's only healthy to get out and talk with the people. He has, of course, made quite a few appearances at Billy's apartment and keeps up with Claire. She parks nearby. She parks her home nearby on a regular basis, and recently has taken in his dear friend Sterling, who has found himself without a dormitory to live in.
Okay. Just as a side note, what I will say is that after about the second week that you've gotten back, Claire is missing.
Well, then he would certainly have turned his investigative prowess to searching for Claire.
Okay. Her beetle is still there,
Hmm.
just so you know. And Screech is there, and um, the golden one that you acquired from mentors is still there. But she is not.
That bodes ill. I do not like speaking with that man. But
He's so helpful.
he's remarkably helpful. It's just unfortunate that he is how he is. Regardless, yes, I suppose I would have spent a bit of my time looking into it again, laying low for fear that she'd been taken by the thaw. I don't want to draw any attention onto myself. I mean, it wouldn't be fitting for me to go missing. What would Raynard do?
No, and we have to think of Reynard. That's definitely important. So you poke around, and while you don't find her,
Hmm.
you confirm that she actually is missing. She's not hiding with Heber because Heber has no idea where she is, and he's somewhat frantic trying to find her as well. Demons flying everywhere and looking, and none of them come back with any idea where she is.
I
And
have
so,
been also using my free time to study and learn a few spells that might keep me and my friends safe.
okay.
But other than that, I'd say he's just been living as good a life as he can manage.
All right. Um, while it's not quite as free as it used to be, your life really doesn't change very much, other than there's just this subtle, sinister undertone that is slowly creeping over Satyrine. The conversations, the disappearances. As a private investigator, you seem to hear about it before, or perhaps with more frequency than other people do. Um, but it's not like a headline, right? Thaw capture 5,000 people and lock them. It's not like that. It's one here, two there, a family here, a creature there, whatever, right? But and it's not every day, and it's not, in the same spot, and it's not in the same circle. It's not like they're rounding up circles of friends or something like that. It's very sporadic.
But it is adding up, and it is
It is.
increasing the pressure in the
Well,
populace, that anxiety.
and what the other thing that I'll say is you are not aware of a specific prison in Satyrine, right? So your assumption is that this oubliette that you've heard of is in fact the prison. what you're starting to wonder is just how big this thing really is. You know, if you're continuing to put people in it, eventually you'd think you've got a full building, right? But you're not seeing people get released, except for you, Billy. You realize that the crow probably came from there, and I'm assuming you told the rest of the group that she was back.
Mhm.
So, but the number of exiting people, or at least the ones that you've heard about, and the number of incoming people are vastly disparate. So with that, let's move on to Sterling.
Sterling's had a bit of a rough past few months,
Why don't
to
you
put
tell us
it
about it?
lightly. After his latest excursions into Shadow, since he's had trouble kind of like staying in, this last time he got back from Shadow, probably towards the start of the 3 months, he became hyper fixated on discovering this secret. He saw something through what seemed like another window into his brain, or another just area. And he just became so fixated on trying to find it that he essentially flunked almost all of his exams and failed out of the Vancian College, taking pretty much his entire like working life, his home, because he was staying on campus, and even like his family and friends to an extent.
So you are no longer living with Phineas.
He lives on campus, so not allowed to.
So tell me what you do.
Sterling probably like goes around the other members of the group, definitely. Like he probably goes to Albie first, looking for a place to stay. You know, not sure whether or not it'll work out. He probably roams around on the street for about a week and a half before deciding he needs to ask somebody for a place to stay. And over that time, he just gets more and more obsessed with finding wherever that third window is. Like,
All
he
right.
doesn't sleep. He starts, like seeing things. He starts talking to himself.
All right. The window that you see is a clockwork sort of room, but not. So you've been to the Silver. Um, it's bright there. It's light there. The essence of creation is an uplifting one. It's a regenerative one. It feels good on your soul. This is nothing like that. It's mechanical in nature, but it feels droning. It feels almost oppressive in in its relentless marching on. The room that you're looking at through that eye is filled with massive gears and pendulums and moving parts. It's loud. It's not musical. It's not pleasant. It's very jarring, loud.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming you look for it.
Definitely.
So that takes you the better part of 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes you on a journey to the red. And in the red, underneath a tower of some sort that looks almost like it's ready to fall down, but for whatever magic or reason or something is staying up. Underneath that is a room where this gear thing is operating. Um, the gears, as you look at them with your natural eyes, they appear to extend outside the room, and they're large, like they could go outside the room 40 or 50 feet. And when you walk over to the wall where it's protruding into, and you kind of peek in, perhaps the light source, okay, you see more gears, almost as if this mechanism is somehow connected to the world itself.
Hmm.
But you find where that vision is coming from, and what you find there is an eye, and it's floating. Looking at yourself is rather strange. Um, it's nothing like looking in a mirror. It's
Mm-hmm.
not nearly so detached. You feel, if you've ever felt the sensation of being watched by someone, like a voyeur, it feels like that. This looking at yourself, even though it's you, causes the hairs on the back of your neck to stand up. And you get a very uneasy feeling like you're being watched. You're the one doing the watching. But that feeling, you'd think, like when you're looking into a mirror, you don't get that feeling. And you're looking at yourself, and it looks like you're looking into a mirror when you do, but that feeling is there.
Mm-hmm. I imagine as I reach out for it, like my hand almost like fractures off of myself into the splinters.
I can believe that.
And I just like grab it with the splinters.
When you do, you actually hurt yourself. I'm gonna say that damage is healed now. So, but the splinters actually cut the eye,
Mm.
and your head dang near explodes in pain, like migraine pain. I'm assuming it's that way until you calm down or somehow otherwise transfer that eye into something that's not splintered into a million pieces.
Yeah, I would definitely like throw it into something until I figure out a more permanent storage solution, or at least to get it back to wherever I'm staying.
So you've spent a little bit of time in the red while you're searching. You learned a couple of things. Number one, everything in the red is always decaying. So the things that you bring, your clothing, you notice that even the short amount of time that you've spent there, the days, your clothing starts to become tattered and frayed. Your the pouches that you keep your belongings in while they're on you are frayed and starting to deteriorate. The people that live here, and there are people that live here, have to constantly fight the decay, and it's almost a battle in stubbornness, right? Um, by golly, I live here, and I'm not going to let this beat me. Kind of an attitude, right? And so when their house or their inn or their establishment or whatever begins to decay, they're constantly fixing it. There are demons here. They are common. Um, Everything that you can imagine, from demons that crawl underneath the ground like sandworms from Dune, to demons that fly, to ones that walk on two legs like men, and everything in between. Um, they they patron the establishments. Um, they will sit and have dinner at a tavern or something alongside normal vislae, and it's not constant um, physical altercations or uh, shouting matches or anything like that. The demons don't operate that way. Um, they are very much, and you've come to understand this a little bit by what you've seen, but it starts making sense of how Claire has interacted with demons and such. They're very civilized in their own way, and while they are not good by any stretch of the imagination, and while they want destruction, they're not rampant about it. Um, the ones that do it and don't care don't come from the red, they come from the dark. And the ones from the red are very, very quick to correct anybody that dares suggest that they and their counterparts from the dark are similar at all.
Hmm.
And you end up back in Satyrine. I'm assuming at Albion's place, with your eye. Is there anything else that you've wanted to do or that you did while you were on that hiatus?
I do not believe so. My anxiety has progressed to a degree where I can now splinter into several copies of myself instead of merely two.
Hey, that's fun. Sterling and Sterling and Sterling and Sterling and Sterling.
Exactly.
Billy.
Oh boy.
It's been a hot minute. What's Billy up to?
Billy has not been up to his ordinary routine at all. There's no time for that. He's not playing shows. He's not socializing. He has hunkered down, and he is going to figure this out. Like, we're gonna have to. We're too deep in. We're going to have to face the thaw. And he is. I think it starts with. I mean, he came to the actuality through dreams. So this starts with meditation and searching, and then dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and just plumbing the deeps of sleep in his weird lucid dreaming way to learn to control it. And as he's doing this sort of like research, at some point along the way, Claire goes missing. So he starts trying to leverage what he can do in the deeps of sleep to find her as well. And at least initially, rather than being successful at finding her, or like looking for whispers about her among the dreams of everyone in the actuality, instead he starts to hear his own name. And in this sort of dream trance that he's in, tugs on that thread and pursues it, and learns the secret from their lips, so that every time anyone anywhere says Billy's name, he knows it. And the other result of all of this work is that he's going to learn a new forte ability, which is Sleepwalker. So what Billy's always been a projection. He was never in the actuality before the war. He's something different, and he truly becomes that. If the actuality is a series of, it's a palimpsest of realities that exist simultaneously in the same space, then having a physical body is basically meaningless. So if whatever physical body, if that was ever a thing that existed in the actuality, is gone now, and he truly is a projection from the deeps of sleep. So he is always dreaming, and is a projection from dreams into actuality, and can influence actuality in the same way that a lucid dreamer might influence dreams. And so this is all a lot. And this is what he gains from looking for power, looking for ways to be aware of the thought, to try to stay ahead of them, looking for ways that he might be able to in the future uncover more of their secrets, expose them, and make this crap stop, and find Claire.
Okay. You too do not find Claire. You with your ability to hear your name, you a couple of times towards the end of that 3-month period actually do hear your name, and it sounds like Claire. But the sense that you get of where, of who, of what the circumstance surrounding that speech is, fades almost as quickly as it came.
Don't like that. Different book. Because ordinarily I do get some sense of who it was or where it was, right?
The
so
only
this is a
sense you
special
get,
circumstance.
it is. The only sense that you get is that it actually was Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was she was either speaking directly or thinking you.
Gotcha. Wow. So it just completely trumps. Yeah, they have some serious magic at work here. Because that secret is a 6th level secret, and it barely even sputters into being in this instance.
Yep.
So Billy immediately is thinking thaw.
That would be a reasonable thought process.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to dive in to that sooner than maybe we wanted to. But he is feeling remarkably more prepared, I think.
All right. Anything else for Billy?
That's it. I think that surreal journey has been the entire 3 months. I will say that, when people see him, he will still look like he is a projection on a screen, but he will no longer be staticky. Like, he will appear as though the signal is much clearer. And that's the only other thing I didn't mention.
Okay. And that's where we're going to start our narrative. Yes, I know I skipped Joanne.
Well, I mean,
so it has been 3 months, or approximately 3 months. And one day you are at home, Billy, in your unexploded ordnance that's penetrated the wall of Fartown, and you hear a knock at your door, a firm knock.
We'll go up to the door and just, who is it?
Billy? Is that you, Billy?
Claire? I open the door immediately.
Okay. When you open the door, you see 2 people. Claire, describe who he sees.
Well, first you see Claire. She's got like a little sad smile on her face. But as you're looking at her, you notice that her eyes are completely black. And she's just kind of looking around like she can't see anything. And then there's a tall man standing next to her with large hands, claw-tipped fingers, and he's wearing a suit and a vest and a lovely tie and 2 horns coming out of his forehead and a fedora. And he's smoking a massive fat cigar. Hello, Billy. I've missed you.
Just so you're aware, I'm going to drop that picture in game chat.
Oh, yeah, I need to see that again. Yep. Oh. Oh, boy. Well, Claire's not home, so Billy's going to address the other figure. What did you do to her? Who the hell are you?
I didn't do anything to her.
Mm-hmm.
She's right here.
Second question?
Who am I? You can call me Narcariel.
I want to put that in chat. Thank you. Billy will try a quick. Hey, Claire, you in there? I mean, really?
Yes, Billy, I'm in here.
Nope. What are you doing here?
You're my dearest friend. My sister found me. It was unpleasant.
Um, can I do, before he speaks again or I do anything else, can I do like a understanding motives on her just to, or something like that? So what's my estimation
Sure.
of how messed up she is?
Go for it.
Oh my gosh, dice. I need dice. I'll do a perception bene and a sortilege because I want this to be good.
Go for it.
So it's a 8 total.
What is it that you're trying to suss out?
Like, is there any, like, how far gone is she? Because she does not seem like Claire. I want to try and if I can understand what sort of state she's in, or if this is even her.
Actually, with an 8, you're fairly sure that's Claire.
Yeah.
You're fairly sure that she's all there. I mean, there's no change in her voice. It's not like she's possessed, or it doesn't. Her speech doesn't present as if she's possessed.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no undertone to it or anything like that. You can tell, her eyes aside. Okay, that's a totally different thing. You can tell that she was traumatized, like seriously traumatized. There's probably a story there if you can suss it out.
Yeah. Well,
Since you're looking, what you notice about the other guy, you're assuming he's a demon, and that would be a correct assumption. He is very gently cradling her arm, like almost like someone guiding someone else. You know, like you'd see someone guiding an elderly person down the sidewalk or across a street or something like that. You know, if it weren't for the fact that he had horns and was smoking a cigar and you knew for sure he was a demon, this would be an okay thing, and you'd be, a lot less freaked out about Claire. But obviously he is a demon, and yeah.
I'm going to address the Narcariel this time. What happened? Why are you here?
He slowly smiles and then kind of glances at Claire. Can't you see? She's blind. I'm helping her.
Yeah, but why?
I was asked to, and then he smiles a slightly bit wider. Other reasons. Do you not feel that she deserves help?
Yeah, I just don't trust you.
Of course not.
Come in.
And as you step back, he very gingerly helps her into the bomb. I mean, it's not, he's not tugging her. He's not, it's very gentle, very gentlemanly, very, it's creepy. But it's not, you don't get the sense that she's in danger from this guy. And then he follows her in and takes her arm once again and leans over and murmurs, "There's a chair to your left. I'm going to lead you to it. If you'd like to sit down."
Thank you, Nark.
And he leads her over to an empty chair and helps her sit down.
Mm-hmm.
"Do you have something I could get the lady to drink?"
Yeah, what do you want, Claire?
Some of your scotch, please. It's
Of
been a
course.
long time.
Okay, well that's no problem. That's a staple. So Billy gets Claire a scotch. And Claire, it's been 3 months. What the hell happened?
I went to pick up my sword. My sister was anticipating such a thing, and we clashed, and then she vanished, and then I woke up in a building. And now I have an overwhelming fear of the carnival.
Wait a minute.
Yes, that carnival.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so Billy knows what she's talking about. But we never went in, so
You never went in. She did.
is anything else wrong, or is it just you can't see?
I can't see.
That's
That's it.
What happened in there?
Fodder.
She was there, and she was stronger than we had been led to believe. She had something helping her, a guy with an axe, and I hid in the room of cats, and they protected me. And then I ran again and encountered something that offered me freedom for my vision. I was agreeing to it, and then Dad showed up.
Really?
Mr. White Suit.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up outside the building, and Nark picked me up and asked me where he could take me. First place I thought of was you.
Jesus. Well, it's got to be something we can do about it, right? And we'll kind of, look at Narc and ask Claire, do you know this guy before? Do you summon him? What's the story here? He just picked you up out of nowhere?
Her father sent me.
Okay. How do you
As
feel about
far
that,
as as far as your first question goes, and he shakes his head. There's no smile there at all. In fact, he looks pained that the answer to that question about her eyes is no.
Mm. Well, there's got to be something. I mean, Billy has actuality just is increasingly more and more flexible, and it seems like more and more is possible. So he doesn't buy it, but we'll look at Claire and well, we better tell the others and get you up to speed. You feeling all right? Can I get you anything else?
I don't know. I think I'm all right. Things are just changing. And how have you been? How have you been? That's. Are you good? Have you been good?
Yeah. I've learned a lot. Um, I guess you could say. Why don't you want to go home? Should probably reach out to Albie and maybe get everybody together.
That's probably a good idea. You can go with me and maybe explain Narc.
Yeah, sounds good. You wanna? I could just get us there right away, or we could take a train or something.
Right away is better. The
All right.
train was awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah. Okay. So Billy's gonna cast a weave. I've done it before. I don't remember what it was, but I have infinity aggregate, so probably movement from that, distance from freedom, and yeah, I'll put enough sorcery in it to take us straight away to her mobile home.
That's fine. Um, let's see here.
It'll be like
but we're gonna cut to Albion's home, and you, Albion, with Sterling, are waiting there or eating dinner or whatever it is that you're doing at the moment. You guys can decide if it's really important. And you actually, Albion, receive through the mail slot that you cut in the door of your bomber, a small envelope.
Well, I pick it up and take it over to the desk where I grab the letter opener and slide that across the top. And then I open the envelope.
Inside is a note and a picture. And the note says, we would like to retain your services to discover what has happened to our son. He went missing yesterday and has not been home since. We cannot contact him via the usual means that we've come to use, and have heard that your services are competent and available. We have enclosed a picture of our son for you, and would like to offer you the sum of 3 mage coins for his safe return. And as you take out the picture, it looks very familiar to you. It's a picture.
Sterling.
It's a picture of Heber.
Oh, okay. I look at it and I groan, and well, perhaps he found where Claire's been hiding. I suppose I can take the job. What do you say, Rainey? Do you think this is 3 mage coin? I mean, it could be better, but it's paying, which is better than usual. Yes, I think perhaps I will send a missive to these folks and let them know that I will be looking for Heber.
Okay. You write the return missive, I'm assuming, and then go to send it. And as you go to do so, there is a knock on your door.
I open the door.
You see Billy, Claire, and a third individual that you have never met before.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Claire, you look like shit.
And then you notice her eyes.
Hmm. Come in, come in. And I sort of hold the door open for everyone to come inside.
You see the third individual, who looks like the picture, obviously, gingerly help her up the stairs and into your bomber.
Why, Claire, have you lost your sight?
Yes, we'll go with losing it. It just wandered off one day.
Where on earth have you been? I have been worried sick about you. I asked Rainey if he could help, and he said that he couldn't go where you were, but that he
I
had
am
told
glad he did not.
himself that you would be back at some point, so I wasn't too terribly worried. But looking at you now, I think perhaps I should have been maybe more concerned. Who's your gentleman caller?
This is Nark. Nark, this is another one of my dearest friends who you will be nice to. Albion J. Finch.
Narcariel kind of bows his head and with the hand with the cigar kind of gestures in a pleasure to meet you kind of a way. And when he lifts his head back up, you see kind of a toothy grin, and he turns his head a little bit to look towards Claire and says, "When have I ever misbehaved around your friends?"
Oh, well, if you're looking to misbehave, I'm sure I could find time later. But for now, friends. We're all back together.
You broke Claire.
I rush.
Don't
I
do
rush.
that when I'm drinking.
I rush back to the guest room, and I knock on the door, and I call Sterling. Sterling, friend.
You
There's
hear
been a
Sterling
development.
mumbling to himself.
Mhm. Put on your pants, not the pajama pants, the public pants, and come out.
Huh? Okay. You
I
hear
love
like
my
some
cast.
shuffle. You hear some shuffling.
I return and I say, well, if history is any indicator, we'll see Sterling in about 7 minutes. But I can't believe we're all here together again. My God, it's been months. Claire, where have you been?
Months?
Yes, it's been over 3 months since the last time we were all together like this. It's been 2.5 at least since the last time I saw you.
But I was only there for like a few days.
Well,
Oh wow.
maybe you were only there for a few days, but you were gone from here for quite a while.
Yeah, he's right.
You know that time is wibbly wobbly here in the actuality. Uh, Claire, sit. And I just take her hand and lead her to a sofa. And
You
um,
hear a very deep growl come from Narcario, and he
um,
does not let her arm go.
well,
I
I keep pulling, and I wink and say, "Come along, fella," and take her to the sofa, and then I turn sort of sharply and commandingly to the kitchen, and I say, "High tea for 6, please." And through the door, we hear the beginnings of high tea getting made.
okay.
And I say, Billy, come sit. And you, sir, sit down next to her. Standing is very uncomfortable. Uh, Here. Uh, Sterling will be out. There aren't other seats, but usually he just brings his beanbag chair with him. So I assume he'll do that as this time as well.
At this
Narc,
point, you hear like a
Narc,
door bust open.
Narc will sit down next to Claire and slide his arm over her shoulders and pull her into his side.
Now, Claire, I just received a missive from Heber's family. Apparently, he's gone missing. I'd assumed that maybe he'd found you, but unless he has gotten a great deal more handsome and intimidating, I don't think that he found you.
No, he didn't find me. I sent him a missive, but he never replied.
When did you send him a letter? Before you went missing?
No, when we went from the house onto the train to Billy's, and I sent him a missive, And he never replied. I used one of my beings.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, for him, it's been quite a bit longer. I had thought perhaps this was just a financial motivator to go looking for you, but I suppose that is not the case. Uh, but we can discuss him later. What? Please tell me where have you been?
I have a deathly fear of carnivals now.
Did you go into that awful house?
Not willingly. I woke up there. I went to pick up my dagger.
Sword.
Sword. Dagger. The pointy end goes into the other guy weapon. And my sister and I were there, and she fought, and then she ran, and I was chasing her, and then I woke up in the
Excuse me.
house.
Ah,
Yeah, I knew that place was bad news.
and your eyes, what happened there?
I was fighting and running and fighting, and there was a man with an axe and a room full of cats. And then I was hiding in a different room, and a being offered freedom for my vision. And then the white man showed up.
And you ran, I hope. That's just a little joke from Shadow. So so you were able to escape by sacrificing your eyes.
I woke up outside the house, and Narkilio was there.
I turn to him and I say, I'm very grateful that you have brought our friend back to us, and it seems that you have been charged with her protection.
After a manner, yes. Her father is, and he smiles, very interested in her safety.
Very well. Billy, it's tremendous to see you. It's been
It's good to see you too, buddy.
a few weeks. I've been meaning to swing by your shows, but I haven't seen you performing all that much lately.
No, I've been busy with other things. You know, looking for Claire, but trying to. I'm scared, man. This thing with the thaw is gonna get worse before it gets better. But I learned a few things along the way.
Oh, do
Um,
tell.
I think Billy just. Do we have? Has the tea arrived?
Yeah, at this point, the stuff is starting to trickle in.
I think Billy just gonna like wave his hand at his tea, which will just come up out of the cup and then turn into a bunch of moths and disperse. Um, and he says, "Yeah, I'm not really here anymore. I'm actually asleep right now, and I don't think I have a body technically. But I can do things.
That's wonderful. I don't know what to say. I guess that makes it a bit harder to play the saxophone.
No, not at all.
Oh, well, then everything's perfect. Sterling has recently disavowed his former associations and
Really?
He walks in at this point holding a really frayed and like ripped up yellow piece of paper. And he's just like walking in, staring down at the paper, and he's just like muttering to himself, I can see it right in front of me. I can see it with my own two eyes. 3 eyes. 4 eyes. 8 eyes. 8 legs. They crawl through the cracks in the dust. And he keeps going.
So he looks at Albie.
He's
kind of a lot.
like this a lot, but he doesn't eat much, so and he stays in his room most of the time. I've been able to magic away the smells that waft out.
Jesus.
Yeah, he looks like a mess. Like he used to be like fairly well kept, a little messy. But now his clothes are just destroyed. His hair is messed up. He hasn't shaven in 3 months.
He smells sweaty.
Mm.
And there's just the faintest hint of sulfur.
Huh.
In fact, you notice as he walks in, Narcariel kind of sniffing at the air, and then a small smile comes across his lips, and he goes,
But yeah, he's just like pacing around the room talking to this sheet of paper.
Sterling, hey, over here. Claire has returned. Do you see?
Claire, welcome back, Claire. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Hello, Sterling.
You can hear in his tone of voice that he's like not the same person anymore.
you notice her eyes
He
are
sounds
completely
disheveled.
black. I love that. He
This is
sounds
excellent
disheveled.
sentence.
That's a fantastic sentence.
You sound distraught. Is there anything I can assist you with, my friend?
No. That's fine. It's fine. What happened to your eyes? Are you okay? Are you okay?
Would you like for me to? Sterling, too many questions, too quickly. You missed the first and the second round. I'll fill you in later. Come sit. And
he sits on the floor.
Yeah. Do you think that your sister's appearance had anything to do with our good works?
Yes.
Yes. I believe that somebody is very, very not happy with us.
Yeah, that's what I've been afraid of.
Well,
She always was a bit of a bitch. And he just says it casually, just kind of waving the cigar.
sir, in this house, we do not denigrate women with slurs. We just call a spade and say that she's a terrible person. But I suppose for someone like you, that's not necessarily an insult, is it? Unpleasant person.
He smiles at you.
Regardless, we're all here.
What have you been up to, Albion? How's the
Oh.
TI business?
A trifle, a hobby. It passes the time. I'm a vislae. My God, I need to work as much as I need to drink Kool-Aid. It's fun as an experiment, but it's ultimately cloying and unpleasant. But a hobby. A hobby is a way to pass the time in this weird, dark time that we're living in. And it's been fine. I have found quite a few people have been taken missing, presumably by the thaw. More than the papers are reporting.
Well, that's not exactly surprising, but it is distressing.
What I find curious is that I have not been taken, Sterling has not been taken, and you have not been taken by the thaw, and presumably, while your sister's appearance might have been connected, the thaw did not show up and drag you to that unfortunate house. So why have none of us been dragged to the oubliette?
Josh, has Billy heard his name mentioned by anything that would, like by the thaw or by anything suspicious or concerning since he's learned that secret?
No.
I kind of assume that it might not actually work depending on where they are, maybe. I don't know.
It does not matter who says it that you've been aware. You get the sense that it would work if the thaw said it versus just some random person.
Okay. So the thing with Claire is because of the house, which totally tracks. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Get that away. It's only a matter of time before they do, or before they do something even more terrible than what they're doing now. I mean, we opened a bit of a Pandora's box here, and starting to feel a little responsible for the fallout, if you know what I mean.
Billy, I will shut you down quickly right now. You are not responsible any more than the other three of us are. The Thaw are responsible for their miscreant behavior, and I will not listen to you tear yourself down. We cannot accept blame. We are here, and we can fight for those people who have been taken. We can fight to bring them home and to help them heal, but we will not take responsibility for doing something that was right.
Yeah. I guess I'm just saying it's about time we do exactly what you just said. There's a lot of people that need our help, or they need somebody to help them.
It's time to seek closure with this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm
Get it
sick
over
of
with.
Well,
On that,
Claire,
Yes, Albion.
I hesitate to ask if you are in a state that you might be able to join us in this conflict. Sterling, I know that you've had a very hard time of late, but if we are to mobilize, we will be taking responsibility for our own lives, because this is very dangerous, as Billy has uh, stated, and I have stayed away from it.
I'm aware.
I
I'm
don't.
aware. I've been involved in this as long as the rest of us have.
I just are you in a place that you can engage in this fight? I'm asking you both because
He grips the paper. Do we have a choice?
good question.
We could hide in a hole and pray that we're never found, or we can take back the power and destroy the thaw. I kind of
Yeah,
like the
very that.
second option better.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, we do have a choice, Sterling. We can hide. We can stay under the radar as long as possible, but I
It's too late to stay under the radar. We've already, with the radio and everything, we've already done too much. Too much.
Well, I don't think they've actually discovered that it's us, which is why we still have the option to hide. I think that if we want to get their attention immediately, we could make a broadcast and announce who we are and say, come out, wherever you are.
I think there is a happy middle ground between those two options.
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
I feel that the thought, if in fact they do not know who we are, uh, I feel like we can use that to our advantage as much as anything. And I think unless you have found a deep and expansive source of power that can wipe the thaw off of the face of the actuality, we should probably take a more subtle approach.
Yeah, we got a couple missing pieces still, if you know what I mean. Like we need to leverage every asset that we can get our hands on. Might as well be our whole selves when we start.
We do have several missing pieces, and it's been months since we've all been together, but I feel that perhaps now is the time. Perhaps we should move. Uh, we still have not found the location where our our souls are secreted away here in Indigo.
True. Or red, or gold. Well, we're in
So
indigo, so let's start in indigo. We didn't have any leads on indigo, did we? We had. Let me look at my notes.
No, you don't. And the soul piece in indigo is already in your possession.
Oh,
oh,
I thought
You
that one
you
was
are
shadow. Okay.
no you not. I'm not talking about your shadow memento now.
Mm.
You are the soul piece of indigo.
10-4.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
So
Well,
then we would need to go to. I mean, the next road down the path would be the Pale.
Or the red. I'm sure Nark would be happy to show us around.
Not the red again. Not the red again. And like Sterling kind of rocks back and forth a little bit.
You see Narcariel smile, but of course, my dear.
Let's go. Well, go while we have a guide, I guess.
I won't like it, but I'll go. Whatever. I'll go.
I got you
Claire,
back, Sterling.
this thing with Huber, what would you say your connection to him is at this point?
In limbo, he never responded to my missive. And I haven't been able to contact anyone with the goetics.
Very well. Okay, well, then I suppose I will take this case that has been laid at my literal doorstep. Uh, but perhaps right now, the most important piece is for us to take another step, make a little progress toward completion. But your vote's as heavy as mine. What would you all like to do? And if you'll excuse me, sir, I do appreciate your presence here, and I will not ask you to leave, but I also will not ask you to take part in this vote.
He smiles and says, of course, whatever Claire wishes, I will see it done.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
Well, I mean, it kind of sounds like we're leaning red.
I suppose that would be just fine.
Well, since he is searching for Hebert, perhaps we should swing by the Goetia College first. With me, he should be able to get in, at least check out Hebert's quarters.
Excellent. Yes, that does sound like a good first step on that front, so I'd be happy to do that, yes.
Sounds good to me.
Wonderful.
All right.
Yeah,
We're
if we're
going
gonna
to-
go to the red, I think I have something. And Sterling like storms off to his room. I'm gonna discuss that with Josh.
I'm
over the
loving
break.
this. I'm loving this
All right.
whole Sterling thing today.
We're going to call that for our break. We'll be back in 15 minutes or so, and see about going to the Goetic College. All right, we are back. Thanks for hanging with us. So we're heading to the Goetic College. How are we going to do that?
I figured um, Billy could open a door.
Or rickshaw.
I just so want the rickshaw. What is it? It's like a giant Pomeranian with 6 legs and a lizard's
Pulling
head with like a wagon
Pulling an ice
on
cream
it.
cart.
Yes.
Why, yes. Yes, it is.
I mean, when was the last time we had a proper rickshaw experience? It's been we just bamf in and out as much as we want, but
No, if you want to, we can.
and it's a lot of sorcery points to do that, especially if it was this many people. So I don't think I'm going to go that route anyhow. So unless somebody wants to do something else, let's hit a ride.
I can open you if we don't want to, but we could also just pay for public transportation, and it's a few orbs, and we're there.
Yeah,
It
we're
just
not going
takes an
far.
hour.
All right. So you go to a place in the Fade that you know where you can contract the services of a rickshaw. And sure enough, it is a 6-legged Pomeranian with a lizard's head. Because why not?
But it has to be of the Pomeranian size, because that's just hilarious.
Yes, it is the Pomeranian size. And not only that, this Pomeranian is like heck strong, heckin' strong. It's a massive rickshaw that this thing's pulling, and it doesn't seem to be, having any trouble around it. Also, you notice that it's got a collar with a tag that it's in the shape of a bone. It's a small metal tag, and on the tag, it's fluffy. It takes you
Having
about
contracted Fluffy several times, I can just blanket warning: don't try to scratch Fluffy. He does not appreciate scritches.
I love you guys.
Been a
It
minute since we
takes
had a
a
proper Satyrine moment,
Yeah, no fooling. It takes about an hour and a half, and Fluffy pulls your rickshaw towards the Goetic College, and um, as you get within about 1,000 yards of it down the street, Claire, you feel Narcariel's arm tighten on yours, and he calls out, "Stop!" And the dog stops.
I look around.
Up ahead,
What?
you see 15 tall figures in cloaks lined with gold and gold masks, ringing the College of the Goetics.
Okay.
And that's just
Rejoin?
what you can see.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I should be able to just circumvent it, get us all inside. Like, it's taxing, but I can do it.
There might be more inside.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm assuming that Narc is like whispering in my ear what he's seeing,
Yes.
because otherwise it's going to be a whole lot of what's going on, what's happening.
No, that's something he's been accustomed to doing. So when I describe a scene, assume he's describing that scene to you in the same way.
Okay, lazy.
What can I say?
He like kind of takes his glove. Like he's wearing this glove on just his right hand. And in the palm, you can see what looks like an eyeball. None of you have probably seen it. Albie, you might have seen it. Maybe we can just send this in and I can kind of scout the area.
Oh, this ought to be good.
I don't know how it'll move around, but
just
in
for
theory.
fun, I'm going to make it so you can move it around with your mind.
That's weird. I love it.
I don't know that it's supposed to work that way. I think you're
Pretty sure
actually
it's
supposed
just
to take
an
it
eye.
and just hide it somewhere. But we're going to pretend you can move it around. Just because it's creepy and I like it.
Okay, so you see like Sterling say that, and like he kind of like closes his eyes, and you see this eyeball float up out of the glove. It blinks.
Do you think you could, Billy? Do you think you could move this to the inside of the Goetic campus, the Hall of Records?
Absolutely. Where specifically?
Claire, where should we be looking?
His cell was on the 3rd floor. The third door?
So the dormitories?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and Billy's been inside the campus before, I think, so I can probably swing that.
Yep.
It's a very small thing to teleport.
It's just an eyeball.
Yep. What do you think, Josh? Like level 4? Maybe?
Yeah, level 4.
Okay.
Before we do that, we're going to draw a card. All right. This is the conspirator. Secrets, ravens, books, flame means upheaval, hidden agendas, and gossip. Oh, God. The conspirator keeps to the shadows, whispering with others like her. How many conspirators are there? Who's involved? We never know. These hushed whispers in the right or wrong ears can tear us all apart, bring us all crashing down. The conspirator is the defender of secrets. She guards them and the family they represent. It is her role to know the secrets and spread them as needed, whispering to just the right people at the right time. She speaks in words of power, but a different kind of power. God damn it, Monty.
What's wrong?
How do you do that?
He's a witch.
Okay. All right. So yeah, level 4. Go for it.
Cool. Do you want me to roll? 5 and 5. So 9.
9.
That works.
You
All
know
right.
what? I just reread over the secret. None of you would have seen the eyeball. That's only visible to me. So I just kind
Yeah.
of look at you like, can you teleport this? And I'm pointing at nothing. I just remembered that.
That's right. I forgot about that too.
Does it still work?
Yeah, it still works.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
Take
So
your word for it.
the eyeball goes through the portal, and you end up in what you believe is Heber's room. It is, but you've never seen it.
I don't think I've ever seen the Hall of Goetics. I might have seen part of the lower bit, but
So Sterling, when you were in Shadow,
mhm.
um, did you watch movies?
Probably. Definitely, yeah.
Did you watch horror movies?
Not often.
But often enough to be familiar with imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your eyeball appears in a room that looks like it was taken from one of those horror movies. There is blood everywhere. You see a body in pieces. The robe's ripped. It's bad. The door, however, is open. So it's as you're looking at this and you're running it through your rational mind and trying not to throw up because it's ugly.
Mm.
If you were trying to cover up a murder,
You wouldn't leave the door open.
you wouldn't leave the door open. I mean, this is not even in your crazy kind of off state that you've been in. That
This is stupid.
this is dumb.
Yeah, no,
But the
I
door
kind
is
of
open.
relay that. Like I'm sitting there with my hands like covering my eyes and like my head in my lap. And like I'm just going, wow, what the fuck? There's blood everywhere.
Do you
oh,
go out the
God.
door?
There's body parts. Are the body parts like recognizable at all, or is it completely just like trashed?
No, they're recognized. It's like somebody ripped this guy apart, and it's Sterling. Excuse me, it's Heber. You can see the head.
Have I seen Heber?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I should hope so.
yeah. You all know Heber.
I couldn't
You've seen
remember
so
if
much
Sterling
of
did or
him
not.
now.
I just kind of go, oh my god, it's him.
He's there.
They tore him to fucking bloody bits.
Okay, well, on the one hand, Claire, my consolations. On the other hand, easiest mage coin I've ever earned.
Oh jeez.
Too dark. I'm
They-
sorry. I was just trying to diffuse the situation with some humor and
They left the door open though.
Go out the
Okay.
door.
so either they're
The-
not hiding it.
They can't be. There's no way.
Or is it
Or
like under
this was
investigation instead of
staged.
crime scene?
Do you go out the door?
Yes.
You begin wandering the hallways. All the doors are open. And in several of the rooms and all of the common spaces, the scene is the same. Bodies, blood, everywhere.
Does it look recent?
Yes,
Okay.
it's like some kind of. If the building was still standing, you'd think that some kind of claymore went off inside this thing and just ripped everybody to shreds. But by your guess, you're looking at maybe 50, 60 bodies. Easy. Maybe more. I mean, you haven't like searched the whole campus yet, but it's bad. Like really, really, really bad. You've never seen this much carnage before. In fact, you've never heard of this much carnage before.
Did that note say how long Hubert been missing?
Just a day.
Just a day.
Oh, no. They're trying to wipe out the Goetics.
Or did somebody summon something they weren't supposed to?
Do I see any traces of like a demon? Because like the way Sterling would probably understand most demons, they'd want to be seen. They'd want to be, or like someone that would do something like this would want them to know it was them. You know what I mean? That's probably how Sterling would understand demons that would do something like that.
All right. So this is where this is going to get kind of fuzzy. How are you going to go about looking for traces of what might have done this? Is it a straight perception? Are you using magic somehow? Are you see what I'm asking? Like, what exactly are you doing? Because that's going to determine what you find.
I do have an understanding of like codified magic that's probably not too helpful.
Nope.
So I'd probably just have to like go for kind of a raw perception on this.
Okay, you can. Remember, you can toss Bene at it. You can toss Sortilege at it.
Claire.
I don't think Sterling can toss Claire at it.
Claire, can you summon? You've lost your sight, but you've still got you're still a vislae. Yes?
Yes.
Could you summon Heber? You know his name.
She's gonna close her eyes and then make this gesture to summon.
All right. We're going to deal with Sterling's first, and then we'll get to Claire.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in a Bene and a Sortilege at it. So Sortilege is just another die, right?
Yep, extra die plus 1 to your venture.
Okay. I rolled a 7 and an 8.
So an 8 and a 9. The inside of the Goetic College is lit. They've got lights up, right? It's not a dark place. It's not just lit by daylight when it's daylight and then dark when it's night. It's lit inside.
Mhm.
The light operates as light normally expected is normally expected to. You get shadows where you'd normally see shadows across furniture and around corners and things like that. As you're looking around, you notice that sometimes the shadows don't behave the way you'd expect shadows to behave. Sometimes they shift in form and change shape and then return to normal. Claire, you summon Heber. And you don't see, but everybody else sees Heber appear before you as a ghost. You feel him appear. Claire?
Hello, Heber. It's good to hear your voice again.
Claire, where are you? And he turns around and he looks at the Goetic College and then he looks back at you. You need to get out of here. You need to get out right now. You need to get. Why do you have a demon with you? You need to get out of here right now. Right now. Go. Run.
Of course.
What did this? What did this? Who did this? We have to know.
And he looks
Are those
around.
shadows moving?
He looks around and then he kind of leans in like he'd be whispering, even though he doesn't really have to do that, but it's habit. The dark. Someone opened a portal to the dark in the college. She said I couldn't find. What did she say? And he looks mad that he can't quite remember. She said I shouldn't look for her. And he looks back at Claire. For Claire. I shouldn't look for Claire. You need to go. You need to run. Don't stay. Don't stay. Please. And he looks at Claire for a second. And then he looks at Narcario. I know you. You're with. And Narcario kind of nods his head. You'll take care of her? With my life. And Heber kind of looks at him skeptically for a second and then nods. Please, my friends, go. You don't want any part of what's happening in that college.
Who is it that opened the portal?
He doesn't know her name, but Claire, from the sound of his description, You'd say it's your sister. Your sister murdered Heber.
And we know that she has opened portals into other places. The Pale.
Yep.
Why is your sister working for the Dark? We need to go. I need to ask some questions. I've got to get out of here.
Yeah, we all do. Where do you want to go?
Away.
I can ask my questions from anywhere, I think. So, just
I'm just gonna
far away
burn-
from here.
I'm just gonna like burn all my sorcery and do like a huge level spell and take us back
Okay.
to the bomber.
To the bomber. All right.
Yeah.
You all appear in the bomber.
And then I'm gonna refresh that pool in case something happens immediately.
Probably a good idea.
Did we get Sterling's eye back?
I assume so. It moves
Yeah,
with me.
we'll wait.
I
if we have to.
will. I go immediately to. I say to everyone. I'll be back in. I don't know. Probably not more than an hour. And I go back to my room to cast a divination.
All right.
It is reaching for Gnosis. I spend an hour in meditation and gain one short answer to a question that I pose. It's level 4, but I'm going to cast it by 1 because I can to a level 5 spell, and
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to learn if the Thaw were there to keep people out, or if the Thaw were there to keep the Goetics in when this happened.
Okay. The simple answer is they were there to keep people out.
Okay. All right.
They're not that blatant yet.
I mean, Claire? What do you think her motivation is? I don't understand.
She's trying to stop us. She's trying to prevent us from finding or doing what we're doing. If I had gone to Hebert first, I would have ran into the Thaw.
Do you think she assumed you were gonna go to Heber first, so you were the target?
Unless he found something that he wasn't supposed to find.
I think we should go. I think we should go. I think we should get to the red. I think we need to find the missing piece of our souls in the red. And I think we need to move on to the gold. I think we
you're
need
right.
to keep moving. until we have what we need to enter the temple of Vislae. I don't think we're going to find more answers or better answers than we
Yeah, I think we
will
should go sooner
there.
rather than later, if you know what I mean. We're not safe anyway. So you're right, let's move.
Okay.
I have.
Yeah, do you want to do that spell that you've got?
Well, I can't open. I can't open a portal to a specific place in the red because I've never been to the red. However, I can open. I choose a sun's color. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Anyway, I've got color door, so I can open a door to the red. It will just take all of us, presumably, to the gate.
Random. Well, that's perfect.
Yeah, except we don't know where Sterling will end up because Sterling has already been there. So I don't know where the door will open to. I know that for those of us who haven't been to the red, it will take us to the gate.
So,
And it might take Sterling to the
somewhere else. Well, we can find him if it does.
Wherever it takes me, I'll find you.
Okay, Daniel Day-Lewis.
If we do go to the red, I do have. I've been thinking since I got back. He like shakes his hands. I've been thinking since I got back, and he walks off to his room.
Okay.
He like shuts the door, waits a moment, and then like opens it again, and beckons everyone in.
Very well. Albie takes a deep breath. And then as he steps through, he casts the tidiness cantrip. And it's just like
Delightful. Since I can use my other Forte abilities basically instantaneously now, Billy's going to go ahead and use Visitor from the Deeps. I've been sleeping for more than 8 hours already. I never stop sleeping. And I'm going to think about an entity that can help to protect us from the harmful effects of the red. Be that demons or just entropy in general, whatever. He doesn't know what's going to come out of it.
Draw me a card.
Brilliant.
No.
Yes.
Alchemist.
All right. Alchemist, complexity, transformation, knowledge. The alchemist seeks transformation, usually in the sense of advancement or enlightenment. She hopes to better herself through understanding. As the adept of the Secrets family, the alchemist is, of course, complicated. Boy, we're having a lot of the Secrets family here. Her knowledge is deep and vast. Magical processes surround her. Chemicals and substances, and the flame that catalyzes them all dance upon her fingertips. But her true raw materials are her own essence and her own soul. Makers often see this card as a good omen. The fumes of the alchemist's work offer her both bane and boon. Okay. You summon a what looks like a librarian. So a few sessions ago, one or two, y'all went to a the Dreamery, where you each had the dream globes, and Albion got to experience that firsthand. And there was a docent there that you spoke with, Billy. The individual that you summon looks a lot like she did. Okay, wearing very much the same style of garb. It looks a little bit older. It's a little bit different, but the feel of it is very similar. He appears to be in his 60s. He has a shaven head and a long, wispy white beard, very much the Fu Manchu beard, right? But he's not, I mean, he's not Asian or anything like that. It's just he's grown out a long, wispy white beard. He he's kind of bent over at the back, like not a humpback, or a hunchback, but like he's spent his entire life reading, like hunched over a desk, if you know what I mean. And he's got one eye that's lazy. So it doesn't quite look at you, but he turns his head and he looks up at you. And, yes, how may I help you?
We're taking a rather urgent trip to the Red, and seeking your assistance. We're looking to protect ourselves while we're there.
Okay. Well, the red, it's decay, yes. So things that will protect you against decay, spells and such. And he's waving his hand vaguely, like he's explaining something very profound, and it's not all that profound. It's just kind of obvious, right? If the red is decay, of course you want something that's going to protect you against decay. But he says it like it's this great, powerful truth.
Yeah, spells like what?
Things that can reach back in time and restore things to the way they were, and he reaches up and he kind of scratches at his chin and then strokes his beard down and looks off in the distance for a second. And you're going to the Red, yes. And he repeats that a couple of times, right? To where he starts talking down that same path, and then he goes back and um, starts over again. And each time you get a little bit of um, spells that turn back time, spells that isolate the user from the effects of the environment. Um, there are even supposedly alchemical um, solutions to that problem as well.
You look, fella, we kind of gotta go like right now. So, is there anything? Do you have a recipe for one of those? Is there anything you can offer or tell us about that would help us right away? You don't have time to go spell hunting, if you know what I mean.
Well, and he kind of mumbles and sort of tries to straighten up, like puff himself up, and he doesn't actually answer the question. He kind of trails off and um, doesn't really say anything useful. It's almost like a lawyer that way.
I think my summon librarian spell is broken. Um,
Sterling like kind of calls out like, "Come on, we don't have all day."
And the old man looks at him and he gets kind of a sneer on his lips. Well, if you think you can do better, young man.
I've been to the Red. I have an idea. I think.
Oh ho ho! He's been to the Red, has he?
From the way you've aged, it looks like you've been as well.
And he kind of harumphs.
yeah, let's see. This creature is level 4 and suits the needs I thought about while I slept. Hey, I know you got something. You must know something that can help us, because that's kind of how this works. But I mean, I think you're stuck with us until that happens. And this hasn't been real helpful. Sorry, but I mean, this is pretty important.
You said potions, right?
Well, I do know that your young friend here seems to think he knows something important.
You said
Yeah, well,
potions, right?
Indeed, I did.
They sell them somewhere. They sell them in, like, Sterling like thinks hard for a second. They sell them in This.
Ah, yes, this is a very ugly city. Both growing and decaying, and growing and decaying, and growing and decaying, and all the time, constantly in flux it is. It's a very ugly city. They may have what you need there. It just so happens that's where Daomi makes her home.
Who's Downey?
Downey? Why, the guardian, the warden of the red. The mother of destruction, of annihilation.
All right then. Gang, I
Think,
guess we just go.
yes, I think that would be good. I can take care of some of the effects that might befall us. Excuse me. Claire, whatever happened to that sword?
He's got it. And she's going to gesture to one side, but Narcon's on her other side.
Okay. Very well. Let's get moving. This seems like this could take a while.
If we don't want to research before we move, I'll just take these papers with me. And he starts like tearing stuff off the wall. Like you hear like things getting torn off the wall.
Oh, okay. He's
Yeah,
such
you
an
know,
enthusiastic young man.
if you've like been in his room while he's been there, you know he's got like this conspiracy theory pinboard up
Mm-hmm.
Papers
with
and
his
yarn and
research,
pens.
with his research on it.
Mm. Okay.
So you hear that being disassembled.
All right. And the old man appears to be very okay with going with you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Anybody else doing anything before you go?
Sterling brings out his papers and he just like hands one to each of you. But here, I recorded some maps while I was there. I recorded some maps while I was in the red, so I kind of like remember where to go. He hands one to the demon as well, knowing full well he probably doesn't need it, but he does it anyway. And the
Okay.
maps, they don't look comprehensible. They look like squiggles of blue, green, and red. They look essentially like a heat map. But it's like a heat map of a lava lamp or something. So it's just complete nonsense looking. This should help us find our way around the room.
I turn to Billy and I say, "It's been like this for a while."
Kind of a lot.
He stays in his room most of the time.
Yeah.
Narcario looks at Sterling with a raised eyebrow and says, "Impressive." And then slowly folds the map and sticks it in his pocket. In the inner pocket of his vest. This is the most accurate map I've seen in decades.
I open a door, and that door is red. And I step through.
Everybody else following him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take a pull from my flask, put it back in my pocket, and follow.
Claire feels Narcario's arm sliding around her. Come, my dear. I'll take you home. And he leads you through the portal.
Claire will walk with him. I thought we were going to the red, not my car.
He chuckles. No, my dear, my home. And it is just over 10 minutes to the top of the hour. This is going to be a fairly involved scene. I think we're going to stop it for here. What I do want to do is check in. I know that scene at the Goetic College was not a very pretty one. I want to make sure you guys are all okay. That's not going to happen again, but we wanted to impress that something bad had happened, and who did it, and the level of badness. So I tried not to go into too many details. Was that too much? Was it okay?
I
It
was
was
fine
fine for
with
me.
it.
Yeah, I think it was tasteful. You didn't overreach, and you definitely gave us enough to know what to picture.
Yeah, it's not like you went into like hyper detail about what it was. So
Okay. Just I worry about stuff like that. I want to check in and make sure everybody's okay, that we're all still having fun. This is a game, and yeah, we're telling a pretty heavy story here, but at the same time, I need to be sensitive to everybody else as well. So, those of you that are watching or watch this later, I appreciate you hanging with us. We're gonna go on hiatus again for another 2 weeks, and we'll be back with our vislae in the red, as they seek another piece of their own soul and discover what the home of the demons has to offer. Until then, do we have any shout outs? Let's see. Kelton.
Shout out to Heathen Cantina. We have a new show. It's a mini series, Vampire the Masquerade, set in 1995. We're calling it Reality Bites. It will be campy and fun and creepy, and that starts. Let's see, in 2 weeks' time on Heathen Cantina, Wednesdays. And I will be a cast member, and Asmo is GMing.
So, are you running what vampire are you running?
5e.
You'll have to let me know how you like that. I'm curious.
I haven't played Vampire since 2e, so it seems fairly similar, but looks like mostly improvements to me so far. But I'm about to find out.
Cool. Chris.
Nothing here.
Okay.
Shout out to Invisible Sun. Good game.
Good game. Jeff?
It's the weirdest.
No shout outs.
Joanne?
Joanne.
I don't know that the crew from Manapod is back yet, so I don't think I have any shout outs there.
They are not. They're having some personal issues, but our best to them, and we miss them. We love them. What I will say is very similar to one that we did previously. If you happen to be in the Roanoke area in the end of August, specifically August 25th through the 27th, you can come to Crash City Con and see Angels Citadel. We're going to be running a bunch of events there. I'm running 2 Numenera events. Joanne is running 1 Numenera event and 1 Hope's Horizon event. So we're going to get to run our own game. That'll be kind of interesting. Come join us for that. If you have time and if you're in the area, we'd love to see you and we'd love to meet you. So other than that, we will see you back in 2 weeks for another Invisible Sunday. And from our Citadel to yours, happy gaming.
Happy gaming.